he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are all enjoying your long weekend in the USA. No stat here, but hey, you know what? I'm all good with it. I don't work. Every day's Friday. Hey, Chopper. Happy Saturday. Dandy. Good to see you. Really good to see you guys. I wasn't too sure if Thanksgiving, if it's an extended celebration in the US. Do you guys eat turkey for days? And I've never celebrated it in the US. Hey, Jonathan. Yeah, this is the Route 29 um, follower. This was a while back. Once upon a time, a man named Rex offed a bunch of women and will be found guilty in the end. Well said. Yeah, well said. So, yeah, I've been looking at this for a few days. I did one on Rex. In this case, yeah, it does. This case here is fairly, it's basically just in Virginia, so it doesn't run any further up into the other states. It's between Charlottesville and let me see here if I can. It's a short distance, just up Highway 29, a little bit further. Yeah, yeah. There's been so much going on, Jonathan, that you try to get in a little bit of everything to get the word out and what's happening in different people's hometowns and their areas. I don't find, just personal opinion, but I don't find you get a lot of really great information. Um, Social media, especially some of these larger channels, they're like actual news. I work on true crime, and there's always something. Can you imagine if Rex was cellmates with Richard Allen? Well, there's a couple. Let's see here. I'll put this up. What do you guys think? Is there similarities there? You got to think this is about 20 years ago. And the one on the left is basically there was a bunch of witnesses. Hey, Copper Horse, good to see you, friend. There was a lot of witnesses that were able to give a fairly good description on this guy. The reason Rex is kind of in this mix more than anything is because his mother actually moved out to this area in Virginia. So he has been around. But then, you look at some other news releases, and they're just, look at this picture here. This is one of the newspapers that went out at that time, and all the top three look very different, don't they? This particular one is for Alicia Showalter Reynolds. She was found, of course, unalive, and still looking for this dude. I find the picture, the drawing, I guess, on the bottom, that that one there intrigues me. I'm not sure yet what to think of that one. So we'll just take a look here. So this is from Wikipedia, and it's talking about the missing person cases along US Route 29 in Virginia. So it says since 1996, there has been an unusually high number of cases involving young women disappearing along US Route 29 in Virginia, or an area known as the Route 29 corridor. 5 young women disappeared in 5 years between 2009 and 2014, earning it particularly notorious reputation. One of the 9 unalivings or disappearances, only the cases of Morgan Dana Harrington in 2009, Alexis Tierra Murphy in 2013, Hannah Graham in 2014 were solved, ending in convictions for their passing. And the remainder of them are unsolved. So Route 29 is the federal highway that stretches from Pensacola, Florida to Silver Spring, Maryland. It was originally constructed in October of 1925. Currently, US Route 29 stretches about 1,036 miles up and down the East Coast. So the serial Cheerio on Route 29. So this is Richard Mark Evanitz right here. And he was a serial Cheerio, active in the area from 1996 until 2002. While it was never confirmed, Evanitz was also suspected of being the Route 29 follower. In hindsight, detectives have claimed that it was highly unlikely to have multiple offenders in one area at one time. Evidence was involved in the deleting of 3 girls from Spotsylvania County. Oh, good Lord, there goes the tongue. Virginia, and the taking and abusing, oh my word, of a teenage girl in South Carolina. In addition, Evans was also suspected of 2 Rs prior to his offenses in Spotsylvania County. This was never confirmed. In June 2002, Evans deleted himself while surrounded by police, as they do. I talk about this lots on the channel, where it really does blow me away that a large percentage of these guys that go out and do these crimes delete themselves. It's the most chicken shite thing to do. It blows me the hell away. So these are the cases. So it says up top here, the Route 29 follower was never caught or identified after over 20 years. Police and investigators are still unsure whether the Route 29 follower was Richard Mark Evans, the serial Cheerio, active in the area at around the same time. According to witnesses on Route 29, the unidentified follower would flag down women who appeared to be driving alone. The incidents reported of the Route 29 follower occurred between Manassas, Virginia, and Charlottesville, Virginia. Though that's where I was trying to Manisville. Very brutal. So, can I get that up there? What do you think? Is there a similarity if he was clean shaven? Hmm, very interesting. Very interesting. So, Showalter Reynolds. Alicia Showalter Reynolds disappeared on her drive from Charlottesville, Virginia to shop with her mother in 1996. Sources say Reynolds never made it to her destination. Alicia is thought to be the first of many disappearances along US Route 29. Police claim Alicia's unaliver must have known the area in which her body was found. Alicia's remains were found in what was said to be in the middle of an isolated field that sources claim only a local would have known about in Culpeper County. Neighbors of the area say they only found the remains once they noticed vultures circling the area. However, the police state she was most likely deleted the day she was abducted. Originally, officials believe Alicia was the victim of Richard Mark Evanets, the serial Cheerio, active during her disappearance. This was never concerned, and her case still is remaining open. Just brutal, guys. Hey, Wolfie, good to see you, friend. I think I heard her say VA. Let me see if I can catch up there, friend. If this is the sketch to find the suspect, I would say they're the same person, around a 99.5%. They sure look a lot alike, don't they? Route 29 entitled made me wonder if that PA Route 29. Yeah, this particular is in Virginia. What if Rex self-represented himself? You know? Oh, are you? So what is that highway like? Is it a safe spot where you're at, like as far as young girls go? Or is that part of this corridor? Oh, good question. How far are you from the court that would be trying them? Just over 30 miles northwest of Philadelphia for me. 2 SEPTA bus rides as I don't drive. Okay. The nose and chin are the same. Do you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you. It'll bring up that picture again. He very much. There he is again. Unreal, hey? They're also saying it could be Rex. No, no, they really are. Okay, let's get back at this. So Julianne Williams and Laura or Lolly Winans. There's not a lot of information. So Julianne Williams was 24 and Laura or Lolly Winnes, I hope I'm saying that right, 26, were both found deceased at their campsite in the Shenandoah National Park in May of 96. What do you guys think about how he's disposing these victims? Hey, Perry. I'm not sure. Yeah, do you think Rex possibly? It's wild that there are these routes that go all the way from Maryland to Florida. We were on the Williamsport Towpath C&O Canal. Tough to believe how far the paths go. It really old routes along waterways. Waterways are used quite frequently, aren't they? Or they try and take these victims to a place that is in the middle of absolutely frickin' nowhere. So these are the ones that they are associating with. So Rex Heuermann, Jonathan, I'm not quite sure if you were asking, what do you think of these two? Do you think there's a similarity there? And that is Alicia Showalter Reynolds that I'm showing in with Rex and the sketch. Do you think there's a similarity there? When I found his mother was living in that area, I was shocked. That just made my little spidey senses start to ping. So if you're not familiar with Rex Heuermann, he is been picked up for the Long Island serial activities, all those workers that were found along the beach on Ocean Parkway. This is Rex Heuermann, and he has been, um, he is the main suspect. He's got lots of charges. They've got him on 3 of the 11 right now. That's true. That's true. Sure does look like him, doesn't it, Chopper? So, Jonathan, I do have a playlist, and this will actually go in that playlist for the Gilgo 4 or list in case. You know, I don't have a lot of fear in me, which is not really a good thing. But I tell you what, this is a guy I'd bolt from. I'd have nothing to do with this guy. He's just creepy as F. Okay, so then we've got Anne Carolyn McDaniel. She's 20 years old, and Anne Carolyn McDaniel was last seen leaving a group home in the town of Orange on September 18th, 1996. Her burned remains were found 4 days later within 10 miles or 16 kilometers of the location where Alicia Showalter Reynolds' remains were found. Morgan Dana Harrington was a 20-year-old student from Virginia Tech when she disappeared from Charlottesville near John Paul Jones Arena while attending a Metallica concert on October 17th, 2009. And her remains were found at Anchorage Farm in Albemarle, maybe Admiral County, months later on January 26, 2010. On September 15th, 2015, Jesse Matthew was formally charged with first-degree M and taking with the intent to defile in the M of Morgan Harrington. And then we've got Samantha Ann Clark, who was 19. She was last seen in Orange as well, shortly after midnight on September 13th, 2010. On Friday, January 15th, 2021, the Town of Orange Police Department reclassified her disappearance as an M due to the new information and advances in investigative and forensic technology. Samantha's missing person investigation has been reclassified as active, taken, and am investigation. Then we have Sage Smith, also known as Deshad, and Unique, was a 19-year-old transgender woman last seen in Charlottesville on November 20th, 2012, waiting for a date very close to the location where Alexis Murphy's abandoned car was found in August of 2013. Sage Smith's case went cold and does remain unsolved. Eric McFadden's remains a missing person of interest in this case. Alexis Tiara Murphy. Her abduction or taking occurred on August 3rd, 2013. She was 17 years old and went missing after leaving her home in Shipman, reportedly headed for Lynchburg. She was seen on security footage at a gas station in Lovingston, Virginia, and her car was later found outside a theater off US 29 in Charlottesville. Her remains were discovered on private property on December 20th, 2020, and were positively identified as Virginia Crime Lab positively identified by a Virginia crime lab on February 5th, 2021. Law enforcement waited to announce confirmation to the public until February 17th, 2021, in order to allow the family time to grieve and make proper arrangements. Despite not knowing the location of Alexis's body until 2020, a suspect was taken into custody and charged with her abduction in 2013. Randy Taylor was later found guilty of first-degree M in the commission of a taking and taking with intent to defile in connection with the disappearance of Murphy. Unreal. I do believe this would be her car. Okay, so the disappearance of Hannah Graham occurred on the morning of September 13th, 2014, when the 18-year-old University of Virginia student went missing and was last seen at the downtown mall in Charlottesville on September 24th, 2014. Jesse L. Matthew was arrested in Galveston County, Texas, while being wanted for the taking and taking with intent to defile Graham. On October 18th, 2014, Graham's remains were found on an abandoned property in Albemarle County, Virginia. Jesse L. Matthew was scheduled to appear in court on December 4th, 2014, and Jesse Matthew entered an Alford plea and was sentenced to 3 life terms. Isn't that interesting? What do you guys think of that? Wowza. So given the short time frame and the similarity between the cases, specifically the small geographic region where they occurred, and the age and gender of the victims, it is often wondered whether the cases are linked. Taylor, the man charged with taking of Murphy, was a friend of Clark's and is known to have called her cell phone several times on the night of her taking. But he has never been charged with anything in relation to the case, despite many people suggesting Taylor was the Route 29 taker. Police have said there is nothing linking him to the case, and as well, Taylor was in prison when Reynolds was taken. Wowza. So just a very, very, very short route. Let's see here. So have you guys heard of this before, this particular case? Again, the reason I'm finding it a little interesting is just because people are trying to connect it with Rex Heuermann. So this is the brother of Alicia.
More real estate professionals list properties with Realtor.com than any other site. Really? Really.
Isn't that giving me a place to mute it? Well, how does that work? Hmm. Let's see here. Tight-lipped cops, brother of Route 29 victim reveals Alicia's aftermath of his sister's M and frustration over police silence. So this was just recent. Oh, did I see silence there? What the hell's going on? Come on. Just doesn't want us to see the clip. So the twin brother, we talked about this case a couple of days ago in relation to Rex. Just due to the fact, again, people are saying there seems to be a connection. So he's 53 years old, and he told the U.S. Sun he often wonders where his twin sister, Alicia Showalter Reynolds, would be in her life today had it not been for an ill-fated trip from her home in Baltimore, Maryland, to Charlottesville, Virginia in the spring of 1996. You know, just a little concerned about, I mean, Rex was in the area off and on a regular basis. His mom is in that area. That's scary. But you know what? If he's got more people, let's get him. If there's more victims, nail him to the wall. May 1996, almost 9 weeks after she disappeared. That's her twin brother, Patrick. She was found in a wooded area 15 miles southeast from where she had been last seen. Okay, so that is, when I looked at that car, I was wondering this would be Alicia Showalter's car when they first found it. So we now know how close she was to her car. This creature that took her didn't take her far. Oh, yes. Palmyra. Palmyra. That's how far we are. Okay. So yeah, mom lived here and her car was found here. 18 Zephyr Road. Just note this, guys. 18. I did get some more think tank notebooks. I really quite like them, to be honest with you. And I also bought the Razorback t-shirt, and I like it as well. You have to wear something underneath it. It's sheer, but very comfortable. And I think that Palmyra. I think it's proper sizing. It seems to be, anyways. Fluvanna. Stay out of the garbage. Damn. What you doing? Okay. Alicia left home at 8 a.m. on March 2nd, 1996, to drive 150 miles to meet her mom at a mall in Charlottesville to shop for dresses for Patrick's fourth son. Lizzie, do you mind? Holy. Which was due to go ahead that June. But Alicia would never make it to her destination. Her car, a white Mercury Tracer, was found abandoned 50 miles away from the mall near the town of Culpeper, Virginia, on a shoulder along Route 29. This is the vehicle we talked about the other day, where she had put a white napkin underneath the windshield wipers, indicating the vehicle had ran into an issue, but no indication of where Alicia had headed. The question of where Alicia had gone would drag on for an agonizing 9 weeks before her remains were eventually found. You behave yourself. Holy smokes. 15 miles from where her car was. That blows me away. Witnesses would come forward to inform investigators that they had seen Alicia conversing with a client, a white male aged between 35 and 45, on the side of the road along Route 94 on the day she vanished. Dozens of women would also come forward to report being harassed by a man bearing a very similar description while driving on or near Route 29 between February and March of that year. The women who, like Alicia, were all petite in their 20s, said the individual attempted to get them to pull over, claiming something was wrong with their car. Those who ignored him said he began to get irate, striking his steering wheel and mouthing obscenities before eventually driving away. Others who did stop say he introduced himself as Larry Breeden. Breed? Yeah, Breeden. I could say that. Believed an alias and offered to drive them to a nearby payphone without incident. One woman was attacked by the same individual a week before Alicia was unalived. She said the man tried to attack her with a screwdriver, but she escaped by jumping out the passenger door, breaking her ankle in the process. That's what I'd do. I'd be bailing out of that vehicle if I could. The man who attacked her is believed to be the same man who unalived Alicia. Police believe he may have been conducting trial runs in the area while he worked up the courage to delete. Alicia, a graduate student at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, was working on a vaccine for a parasitic infection at the time of her passing, and they'd been married for just over a year. Patrick was due to follow in his twin's footsteps. He was weeks away from graduating from medical school in Tennessee and due to be married that June. For such an imaginable tragedy to strike at what was supposed to be the beginning of a new and exciting chapter in his and his family's lives was incredibly difficult to comprehend and accept. It was effing hellacious, said Patrick of the days, weeks, and months following his twin's passing. It was really, really hard. It took a toll. You just kind of push on and try to squash your feelings and try to get on with life. But that's much easier said than done. For years, he tried to put his sister's passing at the back of his mind, resigning himself to the fact that her attacker would likely never be caught. But now, a father of 6 and an empty nester, Patrick said in more recent years, particularly in the last years of his life, has grown quieter. His interest in solving the case has been repeat. Patrick remembered the day his sister disappeared as just an ordinary Saturday until it wasn't. He was in medical school in Nashville at the time and spent the morning and much of the afternoon studying before going to his sister-in-law's home for dinner with his wife. When they returned home that night, Patrick received a troubling phone call informing him that Alicia was missing and by that point hadn't been seen for more than 12 hours. Suspended in an immediate state of shock, Patrick delayed tests he had scheduled for the following week and flew back home to Virginia the next morning. What a nightmare, you guys. Oh my God. I don't have a picture of her brother, but I wish I did. So then he says there's that initial disbelief, like, what do you mean she's missing? How could this possibly be? Reflected Patrick at the moment a relative rang to deliver the news. And then your mind goes to all the worst things that could happen. And quite honestly, to me, passing was not the worst thing that could happen to her. That's the way we kind of lived until we found her, wondering what kind of state she was in. Was she alive? Was she not? Was she being hurt? How much was she hurting? Those kind of things just eat away at you constantly. So when her body was found, it was actually a great relief. You know, these families that go years and years to find their loved ones, it is it's the saddest thing ever. I mean, there are literally people out there that they have not found yet. I mean, let alone the kids, Summer Wells. Where's Summer Wells? Where's Monkey? Where did Monkey go? What happened to Harmony? There's all of these different cases. Where are these people and who did this? It's distressing. Beautiful young girl, educated. So these were two of the pictures or sketches, I guess. Do you guys think it looks like the same guy? Let me know what you think. I'm not so sure that it is. Well, hey, Mexi, good to see you. Tracy, Tony, Charlotte, good to see y'all. If I missed anybody, if I haven't, Melissa. Hope I didn't miss anybody. I've been over there on the other side. As an architect, would he have the daytime available to commit these? Yeah, I think if anybody would, he would, because he just went on his own schedule. Let's see. The, the guy, a guy the size of this pretty dark, he would have noticed a little more daytime. I would mingle in just about anything, and no one would bat an eye. That's all good, Mel. It's always good to see you. Maxie. Mm. Hey, Toy. Fashionably late. It's baby day. It's baby day. Yeah. Well, those witnesses are the ones that did the sketch on the right. I'm not quite sure about the one on the left. It looks like it'd very much be the same person. Could be. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. It says for 2 months, Patrick's parents kept a candle burning inside their home in Harrisburg as a symbol of their enduring faith that Alicia was out there somewhere and would soon return home. The local community was hopeful too. They appealed for clues, conducted searches of rural areas, and posted rewards seeking vital information. Contrastingly, Patrick and Barbara said they both immediately believed something grave had happened to their sibling, but they kept those reservations to themselves before the tragic truth was realized. On May 7th, the mystery of Alicia's whereabouts would be solved, but there would be no happy ending as her surviving siblings had feared, and her parents' symbolic candle would be permitted to burn out on the mantelpiece. How sad. The 25-year-old's decomposing remains were found in a wooded area 15 miles from her car. It was her boots, a dress, and rings that were initially used to identify her before an autopsy would eventually ratify the family's worst fears. Alicia's husband had offered to visit the morgue to identify her remains, but Patrick called authorities to prevent him from being allowed to do so, aware that the image of what was left of her would likely haunt him for a lifetime. Now, 27 years on, Patrick says he's more determined to get answers than ever. With his parents getting older and with so little movement having occurred in the case, for the better part of 2 decades, he's urging police to investigate this M with fresh eyes and apply modern technology to help finally identify the culprit. Oh my. Both Barbara and Patrick have also urged to probe the accused Long Island serial cheerio Rex Heuermann in connection with Elisa's Emming after noticing a likeness between him and the sketch of the Route 29 follower. Doesn't he, though? This man's got every time we talk about this guy, every single time, it's like those eyes. Are you kidding me? And all he's doing, Lizzie, you don't have to do that. All he's doing is studying his case and not admitting to anything. He's been talking to the smiley face deleter. Do you remember him from back in the day? And even that guy's saying, get it over and done with. Admit what you've done. So as far as I'm concerned, if he's got anything to do with it, let's find out. Because I'm sure we all agreed that it's not just the Long Island girls when it comes to him. It would be shocking. So there's that one. The hair's kind of straight here, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe he takes a straightener with him. Doesn't that guy look like this guy? Lizzie thinks so. Oh, Jazzy thinks so. Wow. And that's the kind of vehicle they think that this guy was driving. So what do you guys think? Do you think that could, Rex's green vehicle, could it be, hey, you two, could it be mistaken for a vehicle like this? What do you think? Those ears does not match. What do you think about? It is similar. I'm just wondering if it could be mistaken for, like, if Rex's vehicle could be mistaken for one like this, because the color Yeah, how would Rex fit in that tiny truck? But what I'm thinking is, what if this is not the actual vehicle? What if it's more like the one that Rex drives? Because he drives a truck that is this color. So I'm wondering, could it be mistaken for something like this? Because no, this thing looks like a Tonka toy. Hot Wheels. No offense, but I wouldn't drive it. Not in the mountains. Forget about it. Hey, Maxie, forget about it. So, perceived parallels between Heuermann and the Route 29 follower were first reported by the investigative true crime blog, M Incorporated. Heuermann has had ties to Virginia at the time of Alicia's disappearance through his mother, Dolores Heuermann, who lived in Palmyra, roughly 50 miles from where she was last seen. Patrick called Heuermann a compelling potential suspect. That's something, said Patrick, looking at the side-by-side comparison of Heuermann 60 and a sketch of the Route 29 follower. It's got to be the part of his hair on the right, the correct side of the forehead, and they both appear to have kind of similar face-shaped faces. If Heuermann was a little bit thinner, he could have easily looked like one of the composites. Yeah, I find it very interesting. Let's see here. I'll keep that up. I wonder if Virginia State Police have looked at him. I don't know if they've looked at him or if they've ruled him out. They've always been very, very tight-lipped about that and all those kinds of leads. Or if you ask about evidence. Virginia State Police refused to discuss whether Rex Heuermann was being probed in connection with Alicia's passing, in a statement last month writing, State Police does not comment on potential suspect confirmed or unconfirmed. That's a really bizarre answer, in my personal opinion. You would think they would just say, no, he's been eliminated, right? But Patrick said, in his opinion, it's time for VSP to end their vow of silence and be transparent about the leads they have, if any. I don't think there's any good reason for secrecy. It makes us suspicious that maybe we're covering their mistakes in the investigation. But personally, I don't care. We just want this solved. I feel like we haven't been told any new information in a couple decades now. Wow, decades, guys. And it gets old hearing the same thing, just like it did back then. Stone says, I forgive the Emmer. In the 27 years since she passed, Virginia State Police have received in excess of 10,000 tips, but so far appeared to be no closer to catching her Emmer. If the M is ever caught, Patrick said he hopes he and his family are spared the emotional torture of a trial, as does Barbara. Above all else, Patrick wants a number of the questions that have been lingering in his mind over the last 2.5 decades to be answered. Chief among them is why his sister was targeted, why the individual felt the need to unalive her, what was going on in that guy's life that led him to do something so awful to someone so innocent, and if the culprit feels remorse. But speaking directly to the individual in question, he also shared an unexpected message of forgiveness. If they are alive, I think in a lot of ways I have forgiven them, he confessed. I think you would have to be a pretty disturbed person to do what they did. And my hope would be that they found peace, some kind of forgiveness, some kind of healing in their own lives. Whoa, this guy's a hell of a lot more generous than I would ever be. I think that would be a redemptive part of the story. But I think there's still that fear in me that if you find someone capable of doing something like this, they're not going to be repentant and they're going to be a nasty human, being laughing at our misery. You never really know, and I would be prepared for it either way. But I hope they get caught or someone comes forward. My message would be forgiveness if they did, added Patrick. I hope they haven't done anything to anyone else, but I think for my own peace, I need to be able to forgive him. In a statement to the U.S. Sun, BSP Public Relations Director Corinne Geller said, state police remain hopeful that this case come will come to a successful resolution and continue to encourage the public to come forward with any information related to the investigation. The department is asking anyone with any information related to the abduction and the M-ing to call the Virginia State Police Culpeper Division at 1-800-572-2260 or the Bureau of Criminal Investigation at 1-888-300-0156. You can also email bci-culpepper@bsp.virginia.gov. And, as we share this out, we're going to, I guess, have to keep this in mind. This is not solved. This long, long, lonely stretch of road, and how many have been taken. Versus Rex Heuermann, I could say there are a lot of similarities. Now you have to think this would be relatively close. Well, he could have already been doing this for 10, 20 years. God only knows, right? But they do say that it is not uncommon for them to switch up their MO. They learn as they go. So they say, don't get yourself locked that, like the girls on Gilgo, the four of them that were in that burlap of sorts. Just because that happened with those guys does not mean that the rest of those people on that beach that they've recovered are not his victims. They change. They do things, you know. So is it a possibility that he was here? Yeah. He's not out of the woods. So this was back in November 13th, 1996. And I just thought it was interesting article on missing KW girls. So police seek boy to question him about instant. I don't have the right one. Hold on. There we go. Profile says Emmer won't stop. So this is November 13th, 1996, Wednesday, tucked way back on page 24. Lizzie, she's literally, there's a bag that's got food for the sugar gliders and the ferret, the chinchillas. Well, she's over there just ripping the bag apart. So it says a man who prowled Virginia highways in search of women to SA found his fantasy victim in Alicia Showalter Reynolds, a state police criminal profiler said Tuesday. And now that man, who police believe flagged down 24 female motorists near Culpeper, has unalived one of his victims. He won't hesitate to do it again, Special Agent Larry McCann said. Once you do it, once you unalive, it's no big deal the second time, McCann said at a news conference called to release details of a criminal profile of the suspect. The man convinced Reynolds that her car was malfunctioning and abducted her when she pulled over, but probably did not intend to unalive her. I think what we have here is an essay that went bad. Reynolds badly, she hadn't been found for a couple of months. And then it says the suspect, details of the criminal and psychological profile Virginia State Police prepared in the Route 29 follower case. The same suspect approached 24 women before several months before abducting and deleting Alicia Showalter Reynolds in March. Yeah. POS, guys. Those are the 5 girls. One side, they stretched, and then their remains were just found kind of outlying areas. But he didn't go overly out of his way. He really didn't. So it says the incidents near Culpeper involve a man in a dark pickup truck who tried to flag down women motorists. The suspect is a white man, average weight, height, average intelligence. He was sandy hair and is between 35 and 45 years old. That puts him in the age range. He's 60 now, right? The suspect is probably employed in a blue-collar labor-type job and will be polite, quietly helpful to others, and dependable. You think? I don't know. He is probably guarded about his private life, absolutely, and may display inappropriate bursts of anger. I mean, that's possible too. He has twice used the same name, Larry Breeden. That just, are you kidding me? Breeden. Although police said it's unlikely that is his true name, several women reported seeing a green tarp and a toolbox in the man's truck. He is likely married or living with a woman. Come on, Lizzie. Okay, or probably the relationship is probably troubled and was especially so at the time of the Reynolds taking. He is likely shy around women. He does not know. He does not now. No. He is probably has no education beyond high school, but may have some trade to school experience. He probably has a previous nonviolent criminal record, and the record may include the special agent Larry McCann called nuisance sex crimes such as stealing laundry or peering into women's windows. Yeah, they say that is the beginning of everything, right? Okay, so let me see here. 18. Do, 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 do. No, 2 seconds here, guys. Okay, let me see. Alrighty, I am going to do what? Okay, Just about friends. All righty. How are you guys doing? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. All righty, guys. So where we are here is the very beginning of that stretch of Route 29. So this is basically where three of the young girls ended up going missing from is along this way, US 50. Let's see, we'll go up here for a second. Fairfax Boulevard. So I'm just wondering if we've got anything. What was it that was so great about in here? I think somewhere along here there's supposed to be a gas station. Maybe I'll do it this way. Map time. Okay, so right in here, right there is where the beginning of the Route 29 attacks started. Like I say, there was three in here. Sage Smith was last seen in here. Let me see. Might be the exact same area. But yeah, this is the area that Sage Smith was taken for. From she could have been on the other side here as well. Is my thoughts. Oh, I want to go down here. Okay, what do we got going on here? Fairfax Boulevard. So Sage Smith, and then this is the beginning of the route. And it actually is a lot closer if you take a look. Everybody's kind of clustered. So Julie Williams and Lolly, this is where their campsite was up here. I don't think we can get up there, but we can look. Okay, let's check it out. All these areas I've noticed, except for one, very, very much full of forest. How are you guys doing? Okay. Look at our bush. Look at all that bush. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get up here. But again, bush, lots of bush. And the guy doesn't seem overly worried, like he doesn't go too far. No street, but yeah, no street information. Out in the bush. We'll bring in the, okay, there's the cluster of where everybody, there's from Palmyra all the way down, and they will. It's basically, and then they are disposed again very, very close. So with that said, we've got all of that. And then we've got Rex's mom. She's right in here. Rex's mom. What do you guys think of that? Is that just coincidence? And a body found. That, oh, am I back in here? Let's get back. That's so there is the remains. And where is his mom? More remains. Like, don't you find it really bizarre? There's Rex's mom over here. Don't you find it really, really bizarre that the mom is here? And look at all these right freaking close to him. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Mhm. Let's see here. Oh, just about didn't. Yeah, like she's smack dab in the middle of this stuff. Nope, that's my thoughts exactly, friend. Oh, Tracy, thank you ever so much. I appreciate you. I really do. Yeah, and he could have been hunting in the area. You know, it's his type of, if we look at profiling due to age, I mean, all these girls are the right age. They might not be, so I'm going to see, I'm going to bring this out a little bit because I want to show you something else. Look at how close. I'm going to straighten this up a little bit. Fix me up. Okay, so this is in Virginia. These are all of those girls. And this is Rex's girls. Look at that, guys. This is Long Island, and there's Valerie Mack over here as well. All of this. And they're over there. We know how he seems to like to do these with certain numbers, it seems like he was 444. But, oh, Maxie, what if that was his mom's truck? Absolutely. Okay. I mean, I guess you're right. It's just that that vehicle is the same color. So it kind of, but you know what? With that said, the mom is living in an area where you need a truck. You know, yep, 1000%. That makes total sense. When I started mapping this out, Lizzie, sorry guys, give me 2 seconds. What are you into? Stop it. No, no, no. You guys are so bad. What the actual hell are you guys doing? I'm trying to work. Good Lord, guys. Sorry, plastic bag all over the place. When I was doing the mapping, I was shocked when I seen how close his mother's house and how close in proximity to all of these women in Virginia. I wonder if they're working girls near his mom's. Well, that's what, there's a possibility, but to me, it almost seems like he was just starting out. If this was indeed Rex, to me, it makes me think he was just starting out. Um, and this seemed like an easy way to pick and choose. That's kind of what it seems to me. It's interesting he gave up his green avalanche. That's what I was thinking, right, friend? This guy's demented. Like his brain doesn't work proper. Yeah. I mean, great question. So as we're finishing up here, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Don't forget to hit that thumb and that bell because I do come on at different times. I know of two, Mel, and they were both the same make. He seemed to like those avalanches. He had that green one, and then after that, he had a black one. And the green one was taken to his brother's property. I don't think New York plates stand out that much in Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Maryland has hub cities, so it's an area to travel many days. Oh, okay, it's a hub. Well, I'm hoping they do their due diligence, and I'm sure they are. I mean, because this needs to be looked into. We have the same thing in STL. A lot of Illinois plates driving around. We're even the same where we live. I mean, there's always the provinces that are side by side. Um, it's especially if you live on, one of the borders of the different provinces. You see it all the time. I see Alberta plates in BC on the regular and vice versa. Okay, so yeah, Rex's mom, smack dab in the middle of all this. What do you guys think? Let's see here. On his mom's house. No, you're going the wrong way. What you doing? Oh, it just blows me away. Like, There's Palmyra. Basically from here down to here. And then he just had another, it seems to me he just had another dumping spot. Unusual to me. I don't know how these could possibly be not be related. But what the hell do I know? So these are the 5 ladies. So guys, with that said, I think I'm gonna call it. I think we're all done with this one. We've covered everything I wanted to cover. And yeah, just food for thought. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is this likely? Is there a good possibility that he was hunting around his mother's house as well as around his house and his workplace? I don't know. I think there's a really, really good possibility. Can't be eliminated in my mind. So, guys, thank you very, very much for hanging out with me. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Bye.